Hey, sup! Despite popular belief, not every mob in Minecraft is made equally. In fact, there's a lot more mobs that are in-game now, or were in the game, that were never even intended, or a complete accident. As such, it's time to uncover 10 mobs that weren't supposed to exist in Minecraft. Wait, sub, why are you in the end? Oh, I get it. You think Endermen shouldn't have been added to the game. You really don't like those guys, huh? Number 1. Creepers. No, surely not, right? The most iconic mob in Minecraft wasn't actually supposed to be in Minecraft. Well, we're starting off with this one today because a lot of you might already know it. Originally, when coding the first ever test iterations of Minecraft, Notch, the creator of the game who no longer works on it, tried to add a pig mob to the game. Unfortunately, proportions were just a little bit off, and what was supposed to be a horizontal pig body became a vertical body with 4 legs. It had glitched out. At first, Notch was probably gonna delete this crazy-looking thing, but then he ended up making what would be one of the best decisions of his life. He kept it, tweaking its overall look into the classic creeper we have today. Number 2. 2Care. There's always an original, and in a game where there's tens of mobs, each with blocky and pixelated models, a first one had to be created. I give you 2Care. This plain white body mob was added to the very early survival tests of Minecraft. This was back before the game was even released to the public. And the mob wasn't actually officially removed until Alpha Update 1.2.1. This was probably the base model that was used to copy and create new ones. Essentially a plain piece of paper, a canvas to be picked up and edited with texturing or modeling software. The mob could never be accessed through normal gameplay, and for those reasons, we can assume Mojang always intended for this mob to just be a placeholder, a behind-the-scenes file that was supposed to stay forgotten. We won't forget you though, 2Care. Number 3. Grey Tabby. Wolves were added to the game long ago, and so cats were always on players' minds. It was only fair that feline lovers got themselves their own mobs eventually, even if it was the hard-to-tame ocelots of the jungle. Of course, after cats were added, more textures allowed for a larger variety of kitty cat pets, and Mojang didn't disappoint. Did you know, sub? In the Bedrock edition of the game, within the default resource pack, a texture file actually exists for a Grey Tabby cat. Sadly, this lone cat texture and mob has never been used, and never spawns in the game. I have a theory for this though. When Mojang originally announced new cat textures, they also allowed the community to choose one. I think this was originally going to be the Grey Tabby cat, but Mojang later decided not to add it, and instead went to a community vote for a new cat instead. Pretty cool, I guess. Unless you're that gray cat. Number 4. Horses. This one can't be right. Horses have been in the game for years. They must have been planned from the start. Well, if that was what you were thinking in your head, sub, you're wrong. Horses weren't anywhere to be seen in either the alpha or beta versions of the game. In fact, Mojang weren't even the first to make them. Modders, of course, had been around for a long time, and naturally, they've picked up the slack where Mojang leaves things out. Mo Creatures was a very popular mod that added lots of different types of creatures into the game. Some creepy and weird, some a little more realistic. It wasn't until this mod, and a few others started adding horses, that players really started throwing the idea around. If you can ride a pig with a saddle, why not a horse, right? The community asked for horses for years. One of them being the most highly requested feature of all time, I bet. Mojang finally caved in and added them in 1.6.1. This wasn't just because of all the players asking for it, but they also hired Dr. Zark, the actual creator and developer of the Mo Creatures mod, to come work on Minecraft. How cool's that? Number 5. Killer Rabbits. The Killer Bunny of Caer Benog is its full title. in reference to Monty Python, the red eyes of an evil mob that was clearly not ready for Minecraft. Or were we just not ready for it? Either way, Mojang attempted to add this mod to the game a few years back. The Killer Bunny would attack players in a 16-block radius, hopping far quicker than regular bunnies, sort of more like a spider. The Killer Bunny deals quite a good amount of damage and are immune to the Thorns enchantment, with an iron sword or higher needed as your weapon of choice if you're dumb enough to try and fight this thing. The bunny had a fun flee mechanic, in which it would back away after being hit and then come back to attack. This is an interesting behavior seen in farm animals. Well, at least the fleeing bit. Sadly, there aren't any other hostile mobs that run away from you. Sorry to burst your bubble, sub, but you're just not that scary. Number 6. Tropical Fish. This one may surprise you, but yeah, if you try and backtrack your brain all the way to the start of Minecraft, you probably remember that fish were originally just an item sub. There was no fish mob in the game to speak of, and you could only find them by using a fishing rod in water. Minecraft moved by alpha, beta, and the official release without ever adding fish as a mob. It wasn't a highly demanded feature, however, so it wasn't until the 1.14 aquatic update that fish were finally introduced. And not just a simple texture update, but a whole range of species were added, including a seriously large amount of possible tropical fish patterns. Mojang definitely didn't see that coming when they started working on Minecraft in a small office in Sweden all those years ago. Make sure to like the video if you think fish are a good addition to the Minecraft world. Number 7. Spider Jockeys. Another common duo that we all know is a bit of a slip-up. While messing with mobs, the developers of Minecraft accidentally combined spiders and skeletons. This was originally a bit of a bug, and the team probably considered removing the Jockeys, as they were something that was never intended. But after the community loved them, Mojang did the exact opposite and started adding more, like the chicken jockey. And like many things in this ever-expanding game, it was an accident that worked out for the better in the end. At least in the grand scheme of things when you zoom out. Because getting killed by a chicken jockey in a cave when you're on your own sucks. Number 8. Pigmen. Notch certainly got up to a lot back in the good old days, and preparing some early structure for what would eventually grow into the villager system was high on his list to do. For this reason, he added Pigmen as a placeholder mob that would eventually appear in the game. However, the years went by, and like many other potential features, they were left to the wayside for bigger and better things, namely a zombified version, which populated the Nether for years, until finally being replaced officially by piglins and zombified piglins in 1.15. But was the Pigmen mob ever really supposed to be in the real game? We may never know. Number 9. Pandas. Again, a fan favorite that was never supposed to be added. I mean, they were supposed to be, but not so soon. You see, the Minecraft team were planning to add pandas from as far back as 2012, but they needed to work on the model and animations. They did say one day they'll arrive, and pandas were eventually introduced after a vote involving Minecraft China. However, pandas are on today's list because the team claimed they were supposed to be added for almost 8 years. 8 years, sub! That's a long time to not post something. Number 10. Herobrine. Of course, sub. You didn't think you were gonna get away without us covering the final mob, right? Seriously, there's no point in trying to escape. Resistance is futile, because Herobrine is here. Technically, this mod was never meant to be added to the game, and Mojang still say that they don't know what it is, or why it may have appeared. To this day, we've never seen the real reason Herobrine began appearing randomly to players. One thing's for sure though, Herobrine will never be officially added to the game. It works as an incredible ghost story, and adding it would ruin all of the removed Herobrine update memes. And we don't want that. Nobody wants that. Have you ever seen Herobrine in your Minecraft world? And do you think any of these mobs should exist in Minecraft? Well, the comments are below, so get to commenting. We know you've got so much more to do, sub. There's always new videos waiting to be made. And you better get back to work, because I know our viewers are just waiting for more content. We'll catch you next time, sub.